Finally, yeah. I was really wrinkly and everything, but someone gave me a wet towel to dry off with, and that was a cool joke. Yeah, it was a good game. I mean, I think we had some obstacles to overcome with the wet and the field and some slipping and everything, but probably just I said it before, we probably just need to practice in the rain one of these days and stop spoiling our kids by going to indoor whenever the weather's not the best.
So we know that you've had a chance to look over the film and kind of analyze what you saw on Saturday. What were your takeaways from the scrimmage?
A lot of what we felt from the after the scrimmage. I looked at the film and we were quite limited a little bit because with some of the stuff we wanted to do offensively, we didn't want to show everything that we're going to bring into the game one. But we also wanted to see our guys compete and wanted to see our O-line dominate up front, especially when we took guys like Corbin and Kyrus and all those guys off of the line, and I think we also wanted to see some of our younger guys perform. Uh, although I think we kind of kept things out on offense. On defense, we pressured and we did a lot of different things just to give quarterbacks different looks. And I thought maybe we probably would have aired it out a little bit more had the weather been better. But in the end, I think it was a lot of good work for our guys and just confirmed how we've been feeling about spring throughout the first 14 practices.
Along those lines, how much more weight do you give a performance by, say, an individual or even a group or a side of the ball in a scrimmage like this versus, say, a regular practice?
Well, I think you kind of look at all of it together, right? And so I think the numbers just worked out where Joe threw the ball more than the other quarterbacks did, and he did a good job with the throws that he had. But I think in order to really evaluate it, you have to see what the decisions were made from our players when they were in there, because we did a lot of things up front on line of scrimmage, did a lot of audibling. We wanted to challenge our quarterbacks and make sure they give some hard counts and get the play checked to the right plays or continue with what we had. And overall, what we saw talking to Coach Grimes and Coach Roderick, they made all the right decisions. And as far as setting up the right play and doing everything correctly pre-snap. And so that was from the beginning of the play to the end. Really impressed with the younger guys that came in and executed. And that's a huge compliment to their coaches and the preparation our players put forth in getting this game going.
Besides the quarterback position, there are a lot of other positions where there are guys fighting for time and you're trying to kind of see what's going to fit best. Did you get any clarity on any of the position battles through spring?
Yeah, a little bit more, but I mean, I think the goal defensively and offensively is try to get more than just 11 guys can play, and where we feel comfortable with depth-wise, having different guys step in the game, and then having different on the offensive side having different personnel sets. So being able to use 2 tight ends and use three to 4 wideouts and in one play, and then just kind of getting the organization of getting the game played. So the play called in the game, and I think Grimes went upstairs and kind of tested out a little bit and had good communication from the staff to our players, and they executed well. And I think there are a few mistakes here and there, but not a lot from the way our guys have worked on the pre-snap stuff and making the audibles they did. The quarterbacks did everything correctly, and then we had some good battles up front. But in competition, it just breeds better players, and so I feel a lot more comfortable now with the guys that got significant reps in not only just Saturday's practice, but also the other 14 before that.
Head coach of the Cougars, Kalani Sitake, is on BYU Sports Nation. Was Grimes being in the booth a one-off, or will it be on the field? Because at his press conference, he said, I've been up in the box 1/2 my entire career, and I hated it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I think Micah Simon and those guys said that it was nice for him because he was dry, right? He's the only one he's the only one doing the interviews that didn't have to wipe his nose from all the rain that was leaking from their hats and everything. But I think he just wanted to see the point of view and get a different, because he's always been on the field, and we have guys on our staff that have done both, and so for him to call the plays and be up in the booth, I think was important for him to get that experience right now. And whether it's he's up in the booth or Aaron Roderick or whoever's up there with them, that's up to those guys to decide what's going to be the best and the most efficient way for our offense to perform.
I thought all the quarterbacks looked really good. Joe Critchlow was really impressive in my mind. What did you see in evaluating the quarterbacks and also in the discussions with Coach Grimes and A-Rod? What have you guys discussed in terms of what you saw from the quarterbacks throughout spring?
Well, I think Aaron Roderick has done a great job of preparing all the quarterbacks, and so I judge a lot of our position coaches on how good all of their players get and how much improvement they make. And just from looking at the young freshmen, Stacy Connor and Beta Romney and Zach Wilson, seeing those guys step in and from practice 1 to practice 15 made huge strides in their progression as a quarterback. They took care of the football, which is number one to me, the most important thing for a quarterback, to make the right decisions and take shots when they're there, but not to cost the team turnovers. And not having turnover was really nice for us. On the other side of things, defensively, there are chances that I think we could have came up with some, but and maybe we could generate more pass rush and get the quarterback to make mistakes. But we put them under some pressure. They were able to escape without a lot of damage. The quarterbacks were, and they were live. I mean, in a lot of those snaps, if we would have done it the old way where you tag them, they would have been down probably half a dozen times. And so we were able to let them, guys like Bo and Zach and Joe and those guys, extend the play a little bit more and make it more like a game type situation, which is what all of our guys need to work at. And defensively, we need to work on scramble drill and all that stuff too. So I think the team benefit from making the quarterbacks live, and we were able to escape without a lot of damage, and that I think we got the most out of it with having those guys go live. I think we did it 5 times and not too much damage, but we got a lot of progression and a lot of good looks from the guys that can make decisions under pressure.
So few injuries, if any?
Yeah, we've had. I mean, I think this has been one of the cleanest spring balls, and it's been also really physical. So I can't say that we're injury free, but there's a lot of guys that are hurt and banged up, and that's okay. They'll be fine. We have a really good sports medicine department that can take care of those guys, and but I think the growth that they made with all the physical part of the game has been really good for us, and it'll pay off in the fall.
From the defensive perspective, I know one of the things Coach Tuiaki was looking to accomplish was to play clean and clean some things up on Saturday. Overall, defensively, and a lot's been made of some of the positional changes. What has been your opinion of the way that the defense has progressed?
I mean, I think it's a little bit slower because we took a lot of the starters out, and we've done that the 2 previous spring balls, in the spring scrimmage, and so I think we saw some guys do well, and we saw some guys that need more work. And I would have to say, up front, D-line wise, we need to provide more opportunities for those guys to get depth and make plays for us, But we feel really strongly about Corbin, and we were able to see some other guys like Devin Kafusi come up and make some plays. But yeah, I've been really pleased with them. I would have to say defensively, we opened up the scheme a little bit more just so we can see, number one, to see how the quarterbacks react to pressure and get different looks and be able to disguise defensively. And then on the defensive side, be able to see what our guys can do in different schemes. And in the past, we've used kind of like a dummy down version of defense. And this week, we actually ramped it up a little bit more. And this year, we blitzed a lot more than we had in the past, and didn't really create many turnovers or disruptive plays, which is not good. So in order for those guys, I mean, the guys that played Saturday are 1 injury away from being on the field, and so we need to improve. And I think they have, but not fast enough for me to feel comfortable.
Kalani Sitake, the football coach here at BYU, heading into his 3rd season at the helm, is in Studio B on BYU Sports Nation. One guy defensively that really stuck out, it was Christian Falah. Kind of what's his story and what are his expectations to the defense this year?
Well, he's a playmaker, and he hasn't been home long from his mission, but I think he's starting to get his legs back and starting to understand the scheme a little bit more. He's been away from the game a little bit, but he is a big-time playmaker out of East High School, and has some really great coaches coming up, and has made some switches in recruiting as we went along, and I think he settled on the right place for him. And I think he's a guy that gives us more depth there and gives us competition, and he's being tutored really well by Butch and by Siona and by the others, and Adam Pulsifer. So that's a really good group. And he got tons of reps, and you can see some of the production that he can provide. So there's a lot of guys that stepped up. I can't say I know we have more than 11 that can play, but I don't know if we have more than 25. And so the goal in the next couple months is to get ready and make sure that we have more than 25 to play in the game.
On each side of the ball?
I'm speaking defensively right now. Offensively, I feel like we have a lot of good parts to it, and we're going to add Tanner to the quarterback competition, but we're also adding Jaron Hall when he gets home from his mission, and we'll add some O linemen to beef it up a little bit more. And so I think the pieces that are coming in can only help us.
Are we closer to figuring out who the starting quarterback is after spring ball now?
After spring football, all 15 practices, I think we are, and I think it's kind of narrowed it down a little bit more. But like I said, there's 2 guys that are going to be joining the competition, and we'll see how it goes in spring, in the fall camp, and how it goes in the summer, and do the player run practices and things like that. But I we'll have a quarterback ready, and hopefully we have more than one.
On September 1st.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't going to make name a starter right now, so.
I was hoping you would. That would have made some headlines. It could have helped us out.
When we do, I'll come back on the show.
You'll let us know.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Okay, great.
You mentioned, there's now several months before fall camp begins in early August. So what is the next couple of months like, not just for the players, but for you guys as coaches?
Well, for coaches, we start focusing on spring recruiting. And so we're allowed to go out and recruit starting April 15th until the end of May. And so that's what most of our time will be taken up with spring recruiting and evaluation time during that period. After that, we'll go into our sports camps, evaluating a lot of the recruits that are going to be coming in to our football camps. And then we'll have a little break in July and get ready to go in August for fall camp.
What'd you think of your boy Tony Finau's performance in the Masters?
Yeah,
first
did a
ever
great job.
on a bum ankle.
Yeah, I've known Tony since he was little. Him and his brother Gipper were always in Rose Park hitting balls, and so I know their family real well, and I'm proud of them. And so, I was impressed with all the tan lines that everyone got from their hats. So I'm going to work on getting one of those to make myself look like a golfer. But
should you have golfed with him when you were little? Did you?
No way.
A more lucrative profession?
No, if you could eat a hot dog at every hole, then I'd be a great golfer. So.
We do think of him as an honorary BYU Cougar, though.
Offered a Scully here.
Yeah, and he's Polynesian, so we're all. I mean, we claimed Tiger Woods until Tony Finau came along, and because all we had was Vijay Singh before that.
Tony Finau making waves. He did a nice job. Well, thanks for coming in. We appreciate it. Spring football in the books. Good luck with recruiting here.
Thank you. Appreciate all the support.
But first, how many days until BYU plays Arizona?
Hit it.
Countdown to the Wildcats.
1:45. You have a countdown clock. As Kalani laughs at us.
I don't think he could hear the music, so we're just like
He's like,
out
what?
145 for
I was going to harmonize it with you.
Next time.
Yeah, you got to give me a countdown.
Yeah, we'll work on that.
We'll give you a countdown to the countdown.
Okay. Just do it. Yeah, do that.
Yeah.
I'll do the tenor part.
Awesome.